At Wallace Real Estate, trust is more than just a word. It's been our foundation since 1936. Whether you seek backyard adventures or a quiet spot for your morning coffee, we understand what makes a house a home. Our agents are here to simplify your home journey and to lead you through the process, whether buying or selling. With Wallace Real Estate, you're getting more than guidance. You're gaining a local partner dedicated to bringing your dreams to life. Start your real estate journey at wallacetn.com.
I'm Jimmy Hyams, and this is The Rewind. On full disclosure, we've been interviewing a lot of significant sports figures in the area, and our guest today is Robert Peace, former linebacker at the University of Tennessee. Robert, how are you?
I'm great, Jimmy. Glad to be here with you and looking forward to going back down memory road.
Well, we're going to do that. We're going to talk about your recruiting, and I'm not sure I've covered many people that have had a more intriguing recruiting story than yours. First, we'll start with this. When did you first show interest in the University of Tennessee?
In 1993, my dad was the head coach of Louisiana Tech, and he brought his team up here to play against Tennessee. And Coach Former had taken time out of his day on Friday and gave us a tour of the facilities. And so I really got to know Tennessee as a young kid through that trip when my dad was up here playing. And I recruited or committed to LSU fairly early in my high school career as a sophomore. But Randy Sanders recruited the state of Louisiana, and he just kind of always stayed in touch with me, and going to some camps there, and really just ended up liking the University of Tennessee and the football program.
Your dad said nobody did a better job recruiting you than Randy Sanders. And the story that I was told was that, I don't know if it was the day before signing day, but he came to visit you in Ruston, Louisiana, which is where you're from. And I think he picked you up at school, he said around noon or maybe before. Y'all went to eat at a barbecue place that had a whole bunch of Arkansas stuff all over them. And he said, I knew he was going to go to Arkansas. So I spoke and talked for hours. I did a filibuster because I didn't want to give him a chance to say I'm committing to Arkansas. Is that about the way it went?
That is about the way it went. How he found out I was committing to Arkansas, I have no idea, because we had kept it pretty close. I had an uncle coaching quarterbacks at Arkansas.
Joe Ferguson.
Joe Ferguson.
Who was a fabulous high school quarterback, went to Arkansas, quarterback of the Buffalo Bills when they had O.J. Simpson. So he was a very, very good quarterback.
Great quarterback. And so Randy Sanders shows up to my school that I remember it being that morning, and kind of meets me in the parking lot, and we sit in my truck all day long and never get out. And if you know me, I'm not the most talkative guy. Randy's not necessarily the most talkative guy, so I'm not sure what we talked about for 8 hours, but we talked about something for 8 hours. And as the school bell rang and everybody's leaving school, Randy says, "Well, hey, let's ride out to your house. I'd like to go see your mom and dad." And I'm thinking in my head, "Crap, Houston Nutt's going to be here in a couple of hours. I got to get Randy Sanders out of town, but I can't tell him no, we're not going out there." So he comes out there, and long story short, Houston Nutt's in our driveway. My uncle's calling my dad, asking him to get Randy Sanders out of the house so Houston Nutt can get in there, and Randy would not leave. About 10:30 at night, I think my mom asked him, "Randy, what time do you plan on leaving?" And he looked at his watch and said, "My flight left 3 hours ago. I'm not leaving without your son." And my mom gave him a pillow and a blanket. He slept on the couch. We had breakfast the next day, and the rest is history.
Big Orange Pickleball is coming to East Knoxville. Located off exit 398 in Strawberry Plains, Big Orange Pickleball features 6 climate-controlled indoor courts and will be open 24 hours a day. Don't miss out on the early bird membership discounts. Find out more by going to bigorangepickleball.com. Did that impress you to the point where you decided, if this guy wants me that bad, I'm going to Tennessee?
Well, I would say, I was recruited by a lot of great people. Very fortunate to be recruited by some of the people I was recruited by. And I would say Randy Sanders outworked them all. He out-recruited everybody else.
He told me about you. I said, what attracted you to Robert Peace as a football player? He said he was kind of old school. He said he was a guy that he made tackles all over the place. He loved the game. He had a high IQ for the game. And he said he was a guy that would play through injury. He was a guy that could be a captain of your team. That's what I liked about Robert Peace. Is that a pretty good description of you?
I'd like to think so. I think I was a great leader on the football field. Not necessarily a vocal leader, but the way I went about carrying my business. Uh, I like to think I was a really good player. I uh, think I get better as the years go. I think I was better than I actually was, but I think I had a great career. I had some injuries that set me back some at the University of Tennessee.
Hmm.
So some unfortunate injuries that probably didn't allow me to have the career that I dreamed of having.
Hmm.
But that's part of the game.
So you had mentioned you committed to LSU when you were a sophomore. The head coach at LSU is Jerry DiNardo. He gets fired. You decommit to LSU. You open it up. Your dad actually calls Philip Fulmer and said, "Hey, if you want to come back in and recruit him, you can." But then you also had visits with Nick Saban. But why did you immediately decommit from LSU when they fired DiNardo?
I committed to LSU as a sophomore,
Mhm.
and you know, I don't think there was a week that went by that I did not talk to Coach Nardo or Lou Tepper, the defense coordinator at the
Yeah.
time.
Mhm.
So we had built a really strong relationship. Uh, I was really excited we to play for Coach Tepper. We had Brady James at linebacker. They had Trev Falk, and Coach Tepper sold it. I was going to be the third missing piece for the next 4 to 6 years when I was in high school. Of playing with those two guys and all
Mhm.
being from the state of Louisiana, and just what a great linebacker crew we were going to be.
Yeah.
Uh, so when they were fired, I kind of felt like my coaches were fired because I had built such a strong relationship with them over a 3 year period,
Mhm.
and that's really what led me to decommitting.
When the lights turn on and the game begins, you need a team you can rely on. Ray Varner Ford and Clinton's strong lineup of vehicles is crafted with the same dedication and hard work that drives our community. Step up your game in this 2025 Ford Explorer 4x4 Active, $46,529. 24 Ford Big Bend Bronco 4-door, $40,949. 24 Ford F-150 Super Crew 4x4 STX, $46,214.
Local you trust, performance you can afford. Ray Varner Ford, built for the game.